Let's see when I am live here. I think I should be. Let's go over and refresh this side. I'm still waiting. Still waiting. Let's see. I'm going to pop my shoes off. All right, there we go. I am live. Yes, good evening, everybody. It is what is it, the 15th? Hey, Jiro, how are you? Hope I'm saying that right. It was Jiro. Nice to see you tonight. Polo Tov, hello to you, sir. Good evening to you. Hi, Vicky. How you doing, sweetie? Nice to see you up in the great state of Idaho. And thumbs up are appreciated as you guys come in tonight. It's gone pretty good. It's crazy, another crazy day in the land, but I'm doing good. I'm doing all right, doing my little thing out there. Just, hey Kiwana, how you doing, sweetie? Nocturnal, how are you? Good evening to you. Thumbs up are appreciated as you guys come in tonight. Nice to see all of you. I'm trying to get this screen all set up here. I was unable to make calls today for about two and a half hours, and it got me curious what's going on out there. Hello, Lolly. Good evening to you, Bill Ellis. What's happening, Laura? There's a lot of stuff, man. It's like cutie earthquakes. What the hell's going to happen next? Peachy Pie. How are you tonight? How you doing, Olivia? Nice to see you, and happy Monday to you. Shake, rattle, and roll. I'll tell you, Jan. I got high. Good to see you, Jeffrey. I got the first inkling that something was up this afternoon when Instagram was very flaky for a bit, and then the Twitter was acting up, and then I went to make a couple phone calls today, and they just weren't connecting through, and I waited for hours, and I still couldn't get through. So I went to the Cyberattack website, and there was a huge stream of traffic coming in. Hello, Joey D. Nice to see you. Hello, Angus. Deborah Langley. Nice to see you. Sunny Lightning. Good evening to you. We'll get to that in a couple minutes. An excruciatingly busy day today. Thank you to those of you who watched the shop work today. I got about 3/4 of it done. I took 2 big van loads of crap to the dump today. Yay, I'm predicting an earthquake by the end of July. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. We got locusts flying in Asia and Africa and everything except winged monkeys flying around. Hello, G. How are you? It's the end of the world. My cell phone hasn't worked all day. Thank you, Dusty. I'm going to pop in the shower in a few hours, but yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I got a lot accomplished today. Pocket Change, nice to see you, sir. Good to see you. Yeah, those of you who are on the T-Mobile network in major cities have been Los Angeles, Chicago are 2 that come, Houston are 3 cities that come to mind, have been terribly affected. Several cell services were offline. Yeah, 2020 sucks. I was going to say, hey, Teeny, new sub from Arizona. Yeah, the great cactus state there. Stupid T-Mobile. Well, I think it's bigger than T-Mobile, which I'll get into. It's something called DDoS, distributed denial of service, and I have a simple way that we can understand how that works. Hello, Sean. And an hour ago, the FCC, of course, they're jumping in $1, a day late and $1 short, jumping on the bandwagon of what's going on. We're going to have investigations. Meanwhile, the rest of the world can see by the traffic pouring into the T-Mobile network. What you didn't hear about was 6 days ago, Honda was knocked off all of their worldwide operations for an extensive period of time. All Honda interconnections were down. They also sustained a cyber attack. 2020 is worse than what were predictions of 2020. I would agree. Hey, Linamar, good to see you, Jessica H. I've bad had it with this. It's been a wild 2020. and things are ramping up. Tensions are high, but we keep. What are you going to do? You keep forging your way. You keep forging your way forward. It is getting worse by the day. And I don't know about the cornholio. We have so many. We have so many shifting. It's like it's. You ever see those high school plays where sets are clumsily moved around? I mean, cornholio is like a high school play. You're watching with stagehands trying to move sets around and things like that. You don't know whether the increase in testing is leading to more discovery of cornholio, or whether we've got a problem on our hands. The reason being, why would you go get tested for cornholio, right? Just for the hell of it? No, I'm not going to go have something stuck to the back of my nose up there just for sheer shits and giggles to go do something like that. No, I'm not going to do that. It's like the bottom's breaking. Scottish, how are you? Lucky beans. Moscone Center still closed. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. I've been unable to reach some people that I talk to on the daily. So, this thing called the DDoS, and of course, Anonymous was quick to jump on it and say it was probably Korea and North Korea and China, because things are very unstable with them right now. The world's gone mad, Petey. I tell you, it is gone mad. And they're going to say it was just, what they're going to tell you, the FCC investigation. They're going to tell you, well, somebody was bring your pet to work day, and a dog lifted its leg on the on, on the on the mainframe of the digital switching there, and it shorted out tons of customers. Hey, Lisa Ann, the really bad thing is that it's still going on right now. You have almost 20,000 still out. Yeah, amazing. Was able to get overtime today. See, Sean says the Tenderloin District won the lawsuit. They have to clean up the homeless people. Yeah, well, we've ridden down the streets of the Tenderloin 2 months ago when I rode down. It was awful. Then when Dee and I went down, they had moved a lot to San Francisco City Hall. They have a plaza down there, so I'm not surprised. I'm really surprised there wasn't a major break of cornholing. D, I don't know. Sometimes calls are coming in, sometimes they're not, man. I mean, things are just rolling over to my inbox, so I don't know, man. It's just the world's gone nuts. Gay pride is canceled. Trump Supreme Court, yeah, did a good thing for LGBTQRSTUVWXYZ. I think all of us just want the same rights as anybody else. Nothing special. No special carve outs or anything like that. So that was affirmed by the Supreme Court today, which was a pleasant surprise, and good on them. Equality as far as can be across the board, and it was nice to have the highest court in the land. I was disappointed that they veered away from resolving the constitutional Second Amendment about the right to bear arms. I don't know what the problem is, that they have that thing just doing black backflips in the circuit courts, the courts of appeals, and they can never just make it to say it's a constitutional amendment. You know what I'm saying? And two of the Supreme Court justices even came out and said, it's a damn shame that here's one constitutional right that gets dragged through the mire all the time. Oh, you got your bike up and running, insured, gone to the DMV in the morning. Okay, good. Okay, good to hear that, D. Good to hear that. That's exciting. And I didn't see you on the stream before. Maybe I did yesterday to tell you I enjoyed the Goldfield, the mitzpah there. Nice and not being fired for who you love. Yeah, and don't just remember when you go to a job, your priorities to work, right? And it's nice not to be fired for who you are, but also remember that you have a function to perform, and as long as you're not being treated, better or worse than anybody else, it's all good with me. Ride it like you stole it. Don't come in until Wednesday at the earliest, D. I don't think you'll be able to make it out of DMV in time to make it up here, and I'm sure as hell not getting out of bed in the middle of the night. So you better rest up and come up on Wednesday. I got some crap I've got to take care of for the balance of the week. And welcome if you're just coming into the stream. Your thumbs up are appreciated. I swear I feel it in my bones that some earthquake, some big ass earthquake, will be the next shoe to drop coming up here. It's insane. Hi, Mouse Toes. How are you? Yeah, so I got that first. Yeah, you want to be ready for power outages. It's good you guys saw me. Those that saw, I got the Power Mate generator fired up today. In the Shine Shack, I'll be in line at 5 a.m. That's awesome. Okay, yeah, make sure you pack plenty of food and a pee jug and a blanket to put around you. So I want to get my enhanced California driver's license, right? So, I mean, that's crazy. Hi, Jen. How are you tonight? Nice to see you. This year has been a shit show. Anyway, let's imagine to try to get this DDoS, what they call distributed denial of service, which I'm sure is what was hitting T-Mobile. It hit Honda worldwide operations 6 days ago. You didn't hear it in the headlines. You're not going to hear it really talked about much here. There'll be an inquiry, but anybody who's in the know, which I'm no cyber person, but I do have, one person that's on the inside of networks and things like that, hey, don't fool yourself. That was a cyber attack in the truest sense of the word. Yeah, I got a generator about 2 years ago. I got a Power Mate. See, hey, how you doing, Andrew Scott? Nice to see you. But people say, well, what is a denial? Yeah, don't need an earthquake. What is a denial of service? Well, let's just say you have a company like Starbucks that normally might handle 20,000 interchanges on the internet a day. And all of a sudden you take that volume up to 2 million a day. Well, it's the same thing as if you have a 7-Eleven store and you can hold maybe 30 people in the store comfortably before you start to lose control. Right now, imagine 30,000 people push their way into your 7-Eleven. Well, you're going to have a denial of service there. You'll probably jump through a window or something. Well, that's the same thing that happens when these massive databases have a sudden surge of inquiry and exchange coming in. Yeah, take out anybody, take Robin, anybody that did posts in a foreign language, just take them out on here. Hey, Amy, how are you? Now imagine when you're talking about a denial of service, it's just one place. Maybe North Korea targeted your 7-Eleven operations there, right? We just don't like you. we got a Slurpee that just wasn't up to par, so we're just going to cyber attack you. We're going to fire up 10,000 servers. We're all going to get streaming in, and it's going to block the normal. You'll have a hard time sorting out who's the real deal and who's just in there to cause mayhem. Now, distributed denial of service means that you have hundreds and thousands of points around the globe that are singularly focused on one place. Now, Sprint is in the process of trying to finalize and work out the bugs of the merger with Sprint. T-Mobile and Sprint are merging together, so they'll tell you that that's because of that. But the reality is that probably made them a good target because they are in the throes of trying to change over network. We've all been in survival mode, no end in sight. Andrew said, I wonder if North Korea are really okay in terms of cornholio. You know, I don't know. You know, it's Fruity, the sister of Big Britches over there, Kim Jong Humpty Dumpty, says she's ready to have an invasion of South Korea. Like, give me a break. You know, how stupid can you be? Oh, absolutely dumb. Hey, Binks. So that's what a distributed denial of service is, when you just have uh, hundreds and possibly thousands of computers around the globe, just sending massive amounts, servers just sending massive amounts of traffic. And then it's up to you to decide what's real and what's not. Well, you know, what do you start to do? You start to cordon off the streets so nobody else can get into your 7-Eleven. You start taking large chunks of people offline. So it's really, really crazy. Your PC or my PC? There's all kinds of glitches around. Yeah, send Rodman, Dennis Rodman. Hey Dennis, could you fix this? Mainframe here for this distribution server? Yeah, I don't know. I got my dog here. Maybe he'll lift his leg. Yeah, I mean that's what it is. Yeah, try closing your windows. Hey Jane, how you doing? It's going okay, Johnny West. It was a hard day today. Um, I toted a lot of crap out there. If you guys saw it, all the crap from the van build has now been carted off. I have an offer. The person hasn't paid for the old Onan generator, so I'm hoping that I can get a few dollars out of that and get that cleared out of there. But I've moved probably 500 pounds of junk out of there today and got things really, really cleaned up. Thank you, Kevin. Says great job on the cleanup today. Thank you. I need to get things streamlined. I don't know any of you. I'm probably one of the oldest people in the chat here. But as you get older, you can go one of two ways. You can either flip to what I call like the hoarder mentality, where you hold on to everything. And I saw people in my own family would, you know, my grandmother would, every paper bag, she would fold it up and save it. And every envelope, after she opened and pulled the letter out, she would cut open the envelope and put it in a pile. She couldn't throw anything away. The other way you go is the way I like, towards minimalism. The less stuff around, the better. And I'm so happy to be getting a lot of crap out of this house. If you haven't seen the doc Big Bang in Pyongyang, it's so worth your time. Okay. Oh, Adidas tight Under Armour. Thank you, Andrew. This is, I mean, it's kind of a work, and it was comfortable. Scott, thank you, Laura. Scottish says, I'm hoarding money right now. I'll tell you, all of Rosie's girls are just top flight, aren't they, on the mod squad here? Iowa per capita meat processing, pork and beef accelerating. San Francisco pork belly making $12. Per capita meat processing. What does that mean, Sean? Does it mean, I mean, I know meat prices are expensive. Thank God I had a 12 pack of hamburgers that were here from somebody gave me from Costco. I wouldn't even want to price them today. The price of meat right now, less stuff frees up your mind. I wanted to make sure if somebody ever got in here, I'd be like, oh, well, there wasn't, except for the vintage audio stuff. Thoughts on Hong Kong protections being pulled back? Not surprising to me. Anybody that stayed after the handover of 2007 had to know that the day was coming when you would have the conflict of peoples who had been under British rule, but in a kind of independent. They had their own. Hong Kong has their own legislative council, LegCo, they call it, and I certainly observed them when I lived over there for 5 years. They're a very strong-willed. What you got to understand is you have various areas of China, just like we have in the United States. You have people down south that are kind of easygoing and old boys, and out west you got the free spirits and the wide open plains and the can-do. And up in New York, you have the real rough and tough capitalists, money, 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 fashion, hard driving. That's the way Hong Kong is, right? And Hong Kong people have been used to pretty much unfettered control as to how they want to live, and the things they believe, and the ability to elect people to the legislative council. And it's a little bit of I think it's a shock to them, and they're going to have to come to cope with them. But the Cantonese people they're like the New Yorkers, the people in Shanghai and the people in Hong Kong and Guangdong, Canton province. They're obsessed with money and wealth, and they can stand a certain amount of BS, but beyond a certain point, they start to feel impinged upon. Horton, Miss Dawn, hey, almost Uber, good to see you. Do you think the United States would fight for? No, I don't think so. We don't have that much of a vested interest in it. You forgot about me, Nicholas Gaming. How are you? Good to see you. Yeah, I start to babble and things. Let me tell you, I've been to Taiwan. If you ever been to Taipei, it's an interesting. It's almost I had to jump out the window of a nightclub on the third floor and go down a fire escape to escape the nationalist police. We were at a karaoke bar in Taipei, and I don't know, the guy, hey, let's go have some beers. Some local people that I had that worked in banking, and the next thing I know, it's like the cops are raiding into the karaoke lounge. And I'm like, why in the hell do they care? Like, man, this is all prostitutes. I just go, I, I just go flying out the window like the cowardly lion in The Wizard of Oz. Well, you dare to confront the great and powerful Oz. Oh man, do you think downtown Las Vegas is recovering faster than the Strip? Um, Golden Nugget is very aggressive with the promotions that they have put out. I really don't know. I really don't know. The Strip tends to be a higher end. Uh, I want to guess maybe an older average age stays on the Strip, whereas the youngers tend to be downtown. It's more value oriented. They're risk takers. They're younger. I didn't see anybody with masks on it, so I would imagine that the downtown will be livelier for a while. Yeah, I want to see you scrambling onto a fire escape. But anyway, Taiwan, when you go over there, when they fled out of Shanghai in 1949 and crossed the Straits of Taiwan and landed on Formosa, it was called that time. It was pretty bloody there. A lot of the indigenous Taiwanese were killed, and well, the nationalists exerted control. But they took I mean, they loaded up freighters with the with the riches of China, out of places like Nanking and Beijing. They just, as they withdrew, they took all those treasures, and then they have a huge mountain in Taipei that they have all those treasures like a mile underground in those places. But they're very tightly controlled. They're always walking around with like a tight butthole in Taiwan, so it's a little tense. Not a very pleasurable place to go visit. Um, so I think the days of the U.S. in terms of its power reach are sort of receding now. We pulled troops out of Germany, and maybe some of you get the idea that the U.S. kind of wants to disengage from the global scene for a bit here. We got bigger fish to fry, and we've got push now on towards rebasing manufacturing. It's going to be some painful years, I think, ahead to pull that. Is China bad off financially? Is now because of the stupid virus? Yeah, their media controls it a lot more. Okay, the biggest market in Beijing, and Beijing is a huge city. It's like Washington D.C., super wide uh, boulevards, and it's got old historic areas, and it's got a huge market. The biggest, I think it's the biggest market in China, and they were picking up a lot of cornholio, so they've locked down big sections of Beijing right now. Um, yeah, thumbs up are appreciated. So, I hope everything gets straightened out with T-Mobile. As I came on, they were still looking at the real time. There were still like 25, I think at the peak, 166,000 customers were affected, and I think it was still around 26,000. We're at where others do not want to have much faith. Yeah, I think some people are predicting a dollar crash ahead as we retreat from the global scene. The Fed came out today and said that we're going to we're going to start purchasing corporate bonds too. I mean, it's just like we're all in, man. The Fed is all in. It'll buy your crappy mortgage. Maybe it'll pay off your student loan. What the hell? You deserve it as much as schmuck and schmuck corporations' bonds to be held. What are your thoughts on this interplanet? Do you think that I don't really know, Twink. I'm not much of a um, I'm not much of a interplanetary type of thinker. I more believe this is a unique thing in space. Uh, I think if it was not created by God, then it was an incredible accident of fortune, like the monkey that sits at, if enough monkeys sit at a typewriter for 1 million years, one of them will type out the King James Bible word for word. Hey, how you doing, Cindy? Nice to see you. Yeah, it's L.A., Houston, Chicago. It's been terrible. Yeah, Ninth Element says my phone seized. Even me, I was on Verizon today and I couldn't make a call. Uh, oh, Joseph says I can always tell when you party based on what liquor is left on the high fly. I've been doing a lot of cleanup around here, and I hope to be down in LA late June, July. It seems Dee's going to go to the DMV tomorrow, at which point Wednesday he'll probably be on his way to the Rancho here. And probably the earliest I would take off is Sunday, which is my birthday, and maybe hit the road on Sunday and Father's Day. And then we'll sit here, we'll go over some maps, we'll discuss it, we'll have an online with you guys and kind of figure out. I have to be careful what's open and what's not. Hey Sarah Jane, how are you? Yeah, T-Mobile was having a bad. The cricket is bad. I had to dump. I, Some of you have been on my streams for years, and I was one of the early pioneers of street streaming. And I did that with T-Mobile, and man, what a horror show that was to try to keep the spinning wheel of doom. Once I cut over to Verizon, phew, man, it was like a beautiful, beautiful thing. My birthday is Sunday. Yeah, cases are going up here, Kaylee. But again, it's like I said, it's like a high school stage show with sets moving around. You don't know what's real. You don't know what comes first, the chicken and egg. You don't know if the cases are rising because they're doing more testing, or they're just naturally rising and people are showing up that are sick at testing centers. I kind of opt for the latter explanation. I don't think anybody's voluntarily going off to get tested unless they have some symptomology or a thought that they might have been exposed to something. Old Aussie Bush recipe for birth: sardines, sultanas, and sugar. I would. Hey, Coach, how are you? I would take a crack at that. I would have a bite of that. I'd like to try that. I wouldn't be averse to trying that. I'll pretty much try anything at least one time, so I'd give that a crack. Wait, remind me, what day are you planning to leave? Missy, I'm not really sure. I think Sunday would be the earliest that I could roll out of here. I have some obligations towards the end of the week. Sunday's a great travel day, especially going southbound. So I want to make sure of, boondocking and things. You really need to make sure that you can access some type of shower or something like that. So they're shutting some businesses here. Contract tracing. Have you heard of the telephone company UMA? It's crystal clear. No, I haven't. Cases that the 80 predominance 20, but still need to cocoon from it. So a reminder: Bella Rose requested red. Okay, red velvet cake. I've made it before. It's a delicious cake, the red velvet cake. I'll have to go get a whole thing of red food coloring for that. I don't want to be weird, but I'm going to ask you. Have you ever made a pie from depression, vinegar pie? No, but I have heard of that before. I have heard of that, actually. So you need to look at it. An Auburn tank top, royal blue and orange. There we go. This is just what I wore in the shop today. I just, I got my sheets in the washing machine, and I just didn't feel like, I was so pissed off about the phone, the internet thing. It dragged on for 8 hours. After finally, I'm going to say something. I'm going to do a little research. I started looking in. I went to the usual site. I looked for cyber attacks, and there it is, man. A huge, huge flow of traffic. Brazil and the United States have been heavily targeted with this cyber attack. It's still going on. Still going on. First day of summer, solar eclipse, my birthday, lottery ticket, the cusp, Father's Day. Yes, it's all rolled into one ginormous, big ass package. The first day of summer, baby. That's it. Total red food color. She would settle for one cake. Just remind me, I'm going to be happy to do that. I have made donuts before. Thank you, Kaylee. It's very, very well, was outlawed in Canada for the longest time. You know why, Joseph? Because of, well, before your time, red dye number 2 was considered to be a carcinogenic. So I'd be tempted to eat a cupcake every day of the month. Makes donuts. They don't end up like her bagels. I made donuts before, Uber. Just put donuts in my search box and you can see it come up. They turned out good. They turned out, might have been one of the ones I took down. I don't know. I had no problem with donuts. Popping them in the oil after 30 seconds, flipping them with the chopsticks and turning them over. People in Windsor had to cross you had to get that red velvet cake. I love to bake too. I always have. I calculated I've done over 200 baking episodes. I'm turning 39, yeah. You know, the fact I remember Lincoln's funeral is that's right. I remember black and white TV and all that. The following program is brought to you in living color on NBC. I tell you guys, I remember 1966 like it was yesterday. I was eight years old. It was Christmas in 1966, and our family didn't have a lot. And my father's mother, my grandmother, yeah, my father had two sisters in him, and she bought each of them an RCA color TV console in 1966. We put that mofo in that little sunroom porch, put that thing out there, and at NBC Pro Peacock, the following program is brought to you in living color on NBC. Man, we almost fell out of our chairs. Are you kidding me? Next thing we knew, an hour later, the neighbors have their faces pressed up against the window. Hey, how you doing, Anderson? Anderson? Had to go out and clean all the greasy stains off the windows from the neighbors looking in at the colored TV. Yeah, I remember. I remember watching that on black and white TV. Kennedy's funeral, very much so. That's my earliest television memory because I remember seeing the black horse that they put the boots in backwards, the riderless horse, and I just wow, that's weird. Somebody really screwed up in the army today. They got the boots backwards in the in the saddle. Man, I remember all that stuff. Yeah, you're a baby, Andrew Scott. I'm a middle child too, right in the middle. But boy, I remember that. Yeah, you graduated in '65. All right, Jana. Well, you're still very sprightly. You get it done on a daily basis. So, thank you, Amanda. I think one key is to keep moving. If you sit, y'all caught me napping today in the chair if I was resting my eyes a little bit. But if you start to slow down and you start to lose focus on goals or something to keep your mind occupied, like I'm fighting that battle now between continuing with the cell phone or stepping up to a camera. So that keeps my mind doing research on the daily and stuff like that. Hey, Monkey Boy, how are you? Monkey Boy, you really been putting the miles on this. We're down to the Grand Canyon. I'll run and get a high chair. So I say, hey, what's up? What's up, Juice? How you doing? Boots on her gives me chills for some. It was strange to me. Came here for a little love tonight. I had a bad evening. I'm sorry, Sherry. Welcome aboard to you. That one eye popping open. Fooled you? Yeah, made you laugh. Yeah. Yeah. Your breathing is improved, not smoking. So, uh, still, it's today I'm good. I'm on my allergy pills. I didn't really feel anything today. Tomorrow I'm gonna go back and alternate on landscaping day tomorrow. So I'm gonna get this son of a bitch whipped into such great shape that this baby can be on autopilot. Keep the cell phone. The camera needs too much fussing. I was dogging on coats. I'm torn two ways on that, and I'm still fighting that in my mind. I think the more that you do cinematography and videography, although I appreciate the ease, and I truly do, of working in cell phone editing, popping music on, and doing all that, you see little. The more you work, the more years you do it, you start to be more and more demanding of yourself and more critical. And sometimes cell phone has a little focus issue, and you see these weird little vibrations and things, and and they drive me crazy. They're called little aberrations and things. What's your opinion on boondocking, Stealth Canada, state of Maine? Yeah, oh yeah, I'd go to Maine in a heartbeat. I wouldn't go there in June though with the bugs, but I would definitely. I enjoyed Maine. You could ask J.K. NoCal. J.K. NoCal drove all the way to Maine in a Class A from Santa Rosa. all the way up there, just to have one lobster roll and then turn around and drive back again. Albuquerque, okay, somebody was shot. Sorry, you need a day of lying down for that. Yeah, I try to meter my sun exposure. I don't really show it. I have a pretty bright light on here, but I've gotten a lot of sun so far this summer. Hi, Rhonda. Check out, say hi to Matthew and Howie at its Vegas, you and Matthew. Oh, well, thank you, Joseph. There's a sector of people that live stream Jacob's life in Vegas, and some other people that they dedicate their whole existence to being down, and they do it well down there. Yeah, Clariton has really, really, really bailed me out. So I will check out, say hi to Matthew. Sounds like an interesting channel. So I want to get a map book out. Where in the hell that thing went? Let me just see something right here. See what I got. They had a good deal. 25 cents on the 2016. Road Atlas clearance sale. Then shit, how much is different on 4 years? I know, right? Hey man, I'm not made of money. But I'm looking down the coast here. You got Pacifica, which is supposed to be a hippie town. Then you have Half Moon Bay down there. And yeah, that looks pretty cool. Half Moon. Then you come into, yeah, you got Santa Cruz and Monterey, Castroville, Watsonville, where all the strawberries come out of. Gilroy's the home of the Gilroy Garlic Festival. Salinas, where John Steinbeck lived. Carmel, where Clint Eastwood was the mayor. You got Big Sur. And then you got a pretty good run down to Cambria, Atascadero, Morro Bay. I think that's around where Hearst Castle was there. Yeah, so I think, yeah, I mean that could be a pretty good run. It could be like 10 days to get down to LA down there, and then maybe a week dicking around LA. So it'd probably be like maybe a 20 day trip, something like that. So Santa Maria, there's a lot of cool Pismo Beach. So there's a lot of cool things to, and it's all on Route Run. Yeah, thank you. Uber says this is a great chat with even better mods. I'm always so appreciative of the job that my moderators do. People will come on and say, "Gee, I could fill up the room with 500 people if I just wanted to start talking crap on people and drama." Well, yeah, that's the low-hanging fruit. Try having a chat when you can draw a couple hundred people in and not be gossiping and putting people down and throwing crap. Then you will have accomplished something when you can have a chat where people are respected and want to have fun. On here, if you go to Donut Bar, say hi to Matthew. They'll extend 10% off of the order. Mark Wine Chairman, how are you? Good night, Miguel. The hostel has a hot tub on the cliff. Oh, interesting. Thank you, Ninth Element. Yeah, it could be very interesting. Or it could be, why do I get the feeling when I start to take off and I'm down the coast, the stuff's going to hit the fan somewhere. Going to have to cut it short and come back like in March in Vegas. On March 15th, all of a sudden everybody's like, March 14th, everybody's partying. Yeah, we're down on Fremont Street shaking it, right? And the next night, people's whole demeanor changed. I told D, I'm getting the hell out of town tomorrow. Oh, soft shell crabs. Woo! Thank you, Scottish. I appreciate you being here. And I just, yeah, we had 2,000 people in the chat one night when I was streaming down in Oakland. I like kind of chill chats where we hang out. We talk about what's going on in the world. We talk about things on the rancho, which you guys enjoy here. Yeah, don't jinx it. That's what I'm afraid. That's what I'm afraid of. To just. I know I'm gonna get down like halfway down the coast, and it's gonna be like California's gone into lockdown again, and then I see the blue and red lights behind me. Ooh. Uh, yeah, there you go. It's moonshine and wine making content summer. Pull out the smoker and the barbecue. As the nice thing too is, as hopefully we go down the coast here, Dee won't have an issue finding a place to, pitch a tent or something. I don't think that'll be a huge issue. But hopefully we might meet some people down there. I'm going to be obviously street streaming and signal dependent, of course, but bringing content. But it might be a chance to engage some other YouTubers. I have, Cab TV down in LA, he's a live streamer. He's expressed an interest in chooching together and doing live stream. Yeah, it'll be a fun adventure. I love Ocean City, Maryland Crab House. Yeah, so do I. I used to work at Phillips Crab House on 28th Street there, shucking corn, 13 bushels a day of corn. You don't think that puts you in touch with your inner being? 12 hours a day shucking corn. As soon as those 13 bushels are shucked, here comes Corn Man over the hill again with another big load on the back of his truck from Delaware. Yeah, y'all do a great job in like that. So I'm gonna go grab a beer here. So hopefully D-Dub travels. He'll get the bike all squared away tomorrow at the DMV, and that'll be good. Because as the summer wears on, I want to concentrate. Once that trip's over, I want to hightail it up here for a week or so. And then go back down and concentrate San Diego and down in that particular area, and maybe Slab City and over near Salton Sea, and be hot as hell, won't it? Yeah, thank you, Amy. I really appreciate that, honey. We just don't know. We take it on a day to day, but that's exciting. In my mind, if you're all pre-planned out, like suppose you hit a cool place like Santa Cruz. Oh, wow, and Santa Cruz can be a little rough and tumble. I mean, I'd like to see Salinas. Is kind of a shithole these days, but it's where John Steinbeck of Mice and Men, The Grapes of Wrath, and one of America's great novelists. They have a great museum there, the Steinbeck Museum. Cannery Row on Monterey Bay. It's all commercialized now, but you get the idea. It's a beautiful place. But you could hit some place like Pismo Beach, and maybe you want to just spend 2 days there, and you got to play it by ear. That's the fun thing. Company and chatter. Oh, thank you, Just Jamie. I appreciate that. You can catch crab at the dock in Ocean City with a piece of bacon at the end of some string. Well, get a nice chicken neck. That's what we used to do. Chicken neck, and 2-ounce weight. Pull it up slowly. Make sure you got a good net person there. Okay. Nothing worse than seeing a number one Jimmy down there and a net person knocks it off, and oh man, the number one's the real nice one. Love surfing cows in Santa Cruz. Yeah, thank you, G. So it's nice to see. It's all fun. You get some of the most beautiful scenery. D seems surprised. I talked about north of Bodega Bay, and you guys have seen my Bodega Bay videos. North of there, the road is literally the Puke Highway. I think for like 100 miles. I mean, it literally is just you're winding and up blind turns going around, and it's foggy, and you got Fort Ross, the old Russian fort. I did a cinematic video up there, but it's cold. Although there'll be definitely cold mornings on the coast, it'll be comfortable, but there'll be more to see as the elevation goes down. You have in up in Sonoma County on the coast here, you have about I don't know 100 feet down, 10-story building down to the coast. By the time you get down to L.A., Malibu, the beach is accessible and the water is warm. Monterey Bay, their camp spot in the hills, Memorial to say veteran. Okay, yeah, that's good, Sean. I'm gonna be right in Center City. Okay, tell tell D you can take off. It's a beautiful view, long stay with captivating views of Carmel and Monterey. Yeah, well, let me know as we progress down there. I've been to Monterey 20 years ago was the last time I was there. And I went on the 17-mile drive, and I wish that I could get my money back. I mean, it was nice and everything, but it was okay. Go to the Wildflower Bakery in Freestone. The stuffed bread and cinnamon buns are to die for. Cool. Certainly know where Freestone is, off the old Bohemian Highway. There's a long beach, Huntington Beach, Newport, there, LA, where it's at. Yeah, you got Orange County there, the OC. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, Mouse Toads, it's a puke highway. It is absolutely terrible. Yeah, I'm going to take the drone with me. Definitely take the drone down there. See it crash into the cliffs. I hope not. No! Oh no. I think a lot of people are still offline tonight, still having a lot of issues. Hollywood is in LA. Hollywood is almost in the center, north, what is central north. Take Sunset Boulevard and Wilshire and come over there, and then Sunset dumps out into right across from Rodeo Drive, the Beverly Hills Hotel. Bolinas is a cool spot. Goods is not well known. Yeah, I never got across to Bolinas. I got as far down as Stimson Beach, but I didn't go east across that little road down there. Yeah, Stimson Beach, I just rode. I didn't really go to the beach. I had Missy Jen with me, and we had our trip to down there. So, yeah, it was a very fun trip. We went on the earthquake trail. We walked to San Andreas Fault, where the old fence in 1907 separated 14 feet to show where the whole earth shifted 14 feet at that point. The earthquake trail, and there was some Indian religious retreat or something that was kind of cool. It was an interesting experience down there. Hey, Aaron, how are you? LA is huge. Remember, all LA is, Jamie, is 20 towns that just grew together. Okay, you still pass signs, Downey city limit, 28,000. Beverly Hills is its own little incorporated area. They're all within the county of Los Angeles. A very sprawled out town. It's not a big vertical not a big vertical town uh, like San Francisco is. So, oh, Bolinas is hard to find. The locals take this. Let me drive. It's 350 miles from the Rancho to LA. Hey, Debbie, I hung a cabinet for car cleaning supply in the garage as if everything was normal in the civil. Hey, gaming. How about that, High Watch? You had a normal day. I cleaned up a shop. I cleaned up the shop as if there wasn't disease. There wasn't cyber attacks. All beer was always cold, right? I could always get a steak for 10.99, right? The same damn thing. Yeah, I need a Hollywood star, right? I'm gonna have one made and just tape it down. I don't know what the symbol would be for internet, right? Right, you got television, radio, television, theater, and the movies, right? You need the internet ones, right? You need that the black stars on Hollywood Boulevard. Hollywood, I'll tell you guys. Of course, D and I will be chooching Hollywood Boulevard, but it's not what it used to be. It's a mess now. Okay, 20 years ago, when I went to L.A., you went down to Mann's Chinese, what used to be Grauman's Chinese Theater, when where everybody put the stars put their hands in the cement and all that stuff. You could walk around. You could actually breathe. Okay. And last time I went down, November of last year, oh man, it was just too friggin' many people in there. But I remember looking at Betty Davis's high heel prints or whatever. Her feet were like I put I, I put my big boats next to it, and it's you ought to be embarrassed. You ought to be embarrassed, lady, to have feet that big standing next to Betty Davis's shoes. Good Lord. Spray paint your own star on the road. Hey Janet, how you doing, honey? Good to see you. Man, I just can't believe how little people were back then. You look at Betty Davis's and Claudette Colbert and Ginger Rogers and wow. Oh, that would be so cool. I didn't know they had footprint. Yeah, you don't know down there they have the Grauman's Chinese. I think it started in like 1926 or something like that. Um, all of the big stars with Marilyn Monroe and everybody would go down there. But now it's just a melee, man. You couldn't even get. There's nothing cinematic about it anymore. The theaters are cinematic. The Egyptian, the Pantages, the hotels, the buildings. But God, man, it's almost getting barbaric out there, guys. It's almost getting barbaric. And I read stuff in the paper. I grew up in Baltimore. We scrounged the money together 1 week a year to go to Ocean City, Maryland on the ocean. It used to be it was a nice place to go for a week. And I'm looking on May 30th, they had an all-out riot. Somebody stabbed on the boardwalk on Facebook, and one of the oldest businesses there, the Alaska stand, sold ice cream and stuff. They said, we're closing up, man. The world, this is not the way. We got thugs coming down now. You get the sense that I get the sense from speeding on the road here in front of the Rancho and seeing people in stores that civility is going down and just barbaric behavior and wild behavior is on the rise because people are sensing a breakdown of law and order, and God help us. Yeah, Betty Davis eyes. Yeah, and I've seen it. I've seen it. I've been here. What is it? I just passed eight years here, 9 years on the rancho here. I've never seen people speeding. I've never seen people be so rough with each other. Mass. Every time I go to a 7-Eleven, and somebody arguing with the worker there, and just people are just pissed off. People are just pissed off. Yeah, my childhood memory, Ocean City. People were on pins and needles. It shows, Politov. I mean, it absolutely shows. I'm. I watch. I got a pretty. I try to make things humorous, but I shoot my mouth. I got a big mouth, right? Irish, blah blah blah. And I've really clamped down outside. I'm also very careful what I post on. I'm not going to put a rant on social media, and then you're going to have all these the equivalent of communist bureaucrats in 2 years going over every bit of postings. Oh, you opposed the revolution, yeah. From York, Pennsylvania. OZ, Maryland ain't the same. Yeah, York, PA. How you doing, Debbie? Yeah, York. York air conditioner. Hey, Darby. Small town India is getting crime and crazy. It didn't used to be. That's what I'm saying, Jamie. You're just seeing people. America's always been a society, except for every 100 years or so. And we lost this during the Great Depression too. After the crash of '29, there was this feeling like we're in the middle of an earthquake. There's a cultural revolution happening, and people were just, what can I grab onto? What's secure? You get that sense that people are just pitching on the deck like a ship now being tossed in a storm, and they're just wondering, waiting for the big wave to finally just come over the top. Yeah, I kind of got a big mouth, Janet. But Janet knows, she's known me for hell of a long 10 years, man. She knows 12 years. She knows I got a big trap on me. But I've been very, very, very moderating what comments and things I'm making, and I get the sense there's some birthing pains of some new world order that might not be the greatest in the history of the world here. What do I think the outcome will be? I think it's going to be a very tribal world coming up now. We had this push for globalization since the 1960s, right? Trade is good, and global trade, NAFTAs, and things like that. Now we've seen the downside of that. We lose control of our destiny a bit. Now you're going to have this deglobalization where everybody's going to be kind of pulling into themselves here. And that leaves the rest of the world open for the adventurous jerks out there like the Kim Jong Uns and people like that that take advantage of those situations. Uh, yeah, you're gonna demoralize police. I've seen this is gonna be the next wave. Cops, it's just not worth it. You know, they'll just quit in cities where they're not appreciated. I mean, several cities and towns down south that said, "We'll welcome you if you quit up there. Come on down here. You will feel respected." Imani said, "I'm feeling a bit unsettled." It's very unsettling, okay, because you have multiple brush fires, economic, you got illness, you've got social unrest, you got multiple brush fires. So nothing good in the intermediate term can come out of all that. So, uh, do I carry a gun? I'm not going to disclose that, Debbie. I generally uh, always avoid talking about personal security issues on here. Suffice to say, very well protected here at the rancho. And I'll just leave it that in terms of what I take on the road. Now, remember, I'm not a high-profile person on the road. I put that little van in at a Walmart or a parking lot. Nobody really thinks twice about that. There's anything worth having inside of it. You're not even on anybody's radar, and that's exactly the way that I like it. Tonight in New Mexico, left trying to have this leftist got shot. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. High watch. I mean, now they want a Winston Churchill statue, really? Right? You know, really? I guess if they had to, I guess if they had lived through the Battle of Britain and the hanging on by their fingernails as the last force opposing Nazi Germany, they might be putting gold leaf on it now and have a heightened appreciation. People don't know jack about history. Hey, Bella Grace, how you doing today, babe? Nice to see you. People just don't know about no appreciation for history at all. So we'll start to create these blind spots through history that'll be penciled in with the new paradigm. But I did notice over the last week with the George Floyd protests, there's something new here. I kept asking myself, Rosie, you were right down in the thick of the maw of crap, right down in the belly of the beast in 1968, right at ground zero in Baltimore in April of 1968. As a 10-year-old kid, feeling the heat of burning buildings around me, wondering what the hell is going on. And that really burned an impression in my head to have lived through that. But you know, after a period of 4 days, it was over. They covered it on the news. They were micro focused: Detroit, Baltimore, Philadelphia, Washington, LA, whatever. Nowadays, with the internet, you have what's called the rise of the agenda. And let me preface this first by saying I believe that Black Lives Matter. I believe for years in many parts of the nation, to some extent, in police departments, not all of them, but there was an unequal application of street justice that was meted out that I think genuinely needed to be rectified. And I think we all hope that that could be addressed, that we just have a little more understanding and things like that. That is my hope. Okay, I really hope so for the good of citizenry and for the good of police. So we have less engagements on the street and just up the respect level a little bit on that. But what's happening now from that is I've noticed the press and the internet, they keep now, unlike Baltimore in '68 and the riots and Martin Luther King, the news, CNN and you know, the Post and the New York Times, they're immediately looking around for the next thing to jump on, the next incident that happened around the country. Oh, well, this just happened in Atlanta, or this thing just came down in New Mexico tonight. You know, it's just going to keep this thing. It's going to keep this thing flaming. And there's the difference between '68. You have instantaneous communications. You can have people mobilize, whether they're Antifa or whatever radical groups or counter demonstrations. That's pretty scary. That's pretty scary. I'd have blow up furniture. That's great, Miriam. The internet was a downfall. I really think it was a downfall of society. Social media has been a great thing for a lot of people, but it's been horrendous. And we've seen on YouTube here, it brings out a tremendous number of mentally unstable, unbalanced people that, because YouTube is free, they've used this as a platform for venting their own personal frustrations with their own shortcomings in life, their own dilemmas and their own crappy lives to deal with, and they transfer that to some extent into social media. I've seen that on YouTube. 2013, 14, it was a nice place, and today it's just you know, it's a lot different. Lot. Bye, Andrew. So, who is my favorite singer? I don't really have a favorite singer. I really don't have. I'm very eclectic in my taste. Everything from Sinatra and Dean Martin and Andy Williams through to Pink, Lady Gaga, groups. I like Pink Floyd. I mean, there's so many different things that I like. I think healthcare providers, no, but we just had the Supreme Court. That'll all go out the window now, Janet. That'll all. Hey, Pig Boy, how you doing, Pig Boy, down in the great state of Texas? What you're going to see now, guys, in my opinion, you're going to see a lot of people start to out migrate from cities now, because this 3 month period proved to corporations that they can do a lot of business remotely and still have some amount of productivity and things. So what's the need to be all centralized in a city? You have less traffic going in, less burning gasoline and fuel, less, of course, less money for cities and revenues, but there's definitely going to be an out migration. That's why I'm kind of glad I'm in a county, 50 miles away from, the hub of San Francisco, because I've seen a big trend of people wanting to get the hell out of the city. Small town. If anyone blocks the streets, they deserve clean up the gene pool. Well, Janet, it'll all trickle down. It'll all trickle down from that eventually. They'll tie it all together. Today was a big thing for the LGBTQ community. Less burning of your business. Yeah, people can work remotely. I mean, what's the point? So you pay more taxes in the city. The quality of life is crap. Yeah, you get some nice amenities. You get selections of restaurants and nighttime activities. But as you get older, that stuff is less important to you than personal comfort and convenience. And I can make a strong case for people just, you know, companies saying it's going to reduce our costs. We don't need this fancy ass office complex here. We can just have one shared meeting room with another company we use once a month. We get together for a day and we slap skin or whatever, do whatever we got to do, have a big lunch, and then we're on our way again. I wouldn't want to be in. You couldn't even pay me to be in leasing in New York City right now, Manhattan. Leasing office space, forget about it. Yeah, most of Baltimore's already. Yeah, that beer looks good. That beer is pretty good. So you find a treatment, but people return to disease. I'm not sure, Bill Ellis. Bill Ellis, my best guess is that if it's not, once this particular strain of the COVID got loose, that there'll be son of Cornholio and granddaughter of Corn. There'll be different strains that come around. What we got to hope is this thing doesn't mutate to a much more deadly form before we get a vaccine. That's the big race right now. No, it wasn't, Pig Boy. You were allowed to discriminate against LGBT in the workplace. The older I get, that's it, man. That's it. The older I get, the more appeal to small towns. I think a lot of people feel the same way. My best friend is bringing her staff back to downtown September. Yeah, they're working from home. And Angus, people are going to be so ingrained. Good night, Debbie. People are going to be so ingrained to working remotely, and the companies figure out how to make sure that they give you that the work gets done and it's good. Their costs go down as a corporation, and it's kind of a win-win to me. Kind of a win-win. Uh, all humans were born both. Yeah, I don't get too caught in that. I like everybody to be treated the same, no matter what in the in the U.S. I think that's the whole basis of our whole basis of the founding of the United States. We could welcome Quakers in Pennsylvania and Dutch in New York and Catholics in Maryland and right on down the line, Baptists down, so we could have the whole, all those freedoms of thought and religion and all that stuff. Perfect time for a small cocktail. Yeah, you got your some magnesium. Yes, I got some magnesium. Then you should be doing, yeah, the building is, yeah. Chef, building of skyscrapers is a done deal. Okay. Stick a fork in it. Stick a fork in it. Well, if it's a religious hospital, Janet, then I will respect their right to run their operation as they see fit. All right, that's their right as a private organization. Hello, Bella Grace, and thank you. I hope that that works well for you. I'm gonna open some door. I'm gonna open a door and window here. I'm gonna crack one more beer tonight. Man, I'm hot from today. It was humid today. Was it not humid here? Let me make sure this door's open back in this window. Oh, that little bit of airflow. Let me open the front door. Oh. Woo! Man, it's humid tonight. That's rare here. We didn't get the evening sea breeze come through. Oh, man. Just be a nice person. That's it. Not too many mosquitoes here because it's super dry in this area. But there's some kind of weird bug that lives in the mulberry tree. It's a non-fruiting mulberry tree, and they're real tiny little bugs. But these little mofo's, they're like the head of a pin. But these babies bite. I don't know what the hell they're called. I got no idea what the hell they're called. All right, good night, Uber. Good to see you again. Great to see you. So maybe I'll have a chance with D if we could get down to. He might enjoy Point Reyes, that whole scene down there. So that would be pretty cool. Hey, Jay Berlin, I got rid of every weed I got in there. I micro-weed it every day. I'm out there like this now, looking in that bed for the little. I dare you to pop your head up in there. Tomorrow's going to be back. I'm alternating landscaping, cleanup, landscaping, cleanup, and hopefully by Saturday this baby will be awesome. Bobby, how you doing? Too windy here for mosquitoes. People lived in cities for all man. Hell, now you can have it delivered and work from home. Exactly. I think that's the most seismic change, Chef. You can get your restaurant meals delivered. There's a danger. People go so long and then they form new habits. Hey, isn't it nice to just have the meal delivered to us? And then they have to put up with the fees of Grubhub and Postmates and all that kind of crap. So, yeah, the mosquitoes here are nothing, Juice. Go to Assateague Island, Maryland, with the huge horse flies out there and skeeters, and up in Maine. Unbelievable. Hello, Mickey. Thank you, Robin. Chef, are you sure you weren't drinking, man? Sometimes I'm sitting there in the backyard. I had a couple beers, and I was telling Dee, I said, look at that crow up in the tree. I said, that crow is like it looks like the size of a VW bug. I mean, the thing was friggin' huge up there. Uh, and then I think it was just the drinking. No, I can't do anything for you, Robert Merrill. So see you later. All right, there we go. I got no time. You know, I've been around too long to see that game coming. Yeah, don't troll, man. I've been around the horn too many times. The old thing, why was this on my recommended list? Could you do something for me? Man, I don't even let you get it out of your mouth. Bye. I've been working out of town. David Moore, I'm doing good. Good to see you. Spraying for moths and then general in the, we don't really get moths around here. Don't really get too much insect life. Not too much, it's too dry. Too dry. I hope maybe we'll take off Sunday or Monday, Jay. That would be pretty cool. Take off down the coast. I haven't done acid since 1995. It's like somebody went in Woodstock, reported some wild beast, and they attacked by a wild beast up in New York at Woodstock. And they had the police sketch art. Okay, we'll tell this person, and it looked like a zombie, pink and and the sketch artist is like, "Do you do drugs?" And yeah, why do you ask? Never mind, just close up the pad. Have a good night. Yeah, that's right, pig boy. I took a bit. Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, did it fly? Did it fly fast? Yeah. Scottish, I'll tell you, are uh, the crows here are off the chain. Just absolutely off the chain. That's why Alfred Hitchcock loved filming in this county because the crows are so batty. Here, a lot to do in Indiana, right? A lot to do. I can't wait to get through Elkhart, and I got quite a few friends in Indiana that I hope that I can meet up with. Very much hope that I can do that. Yeah, the Hoosier. I like the Hoosier State. I drove through it. Now I gotta tell you, Rosie's always gonna be straight up honest with you. I came through 80 through Indianapolis, the worst effing stretch of road in America. Drove coast to coast, was in Indianapolis. Man, the van was jumping. It was jumping, kind of jumping to the side. The potholes and the pavement was so uneven in there. Oh, rather lethargic. There you go, chef. Might have been a sloth moth, huh? A sloth moth. Try saying that fast a few times, right? Mm. Yeah, so I enjoyed going through. I'd like to see Valparaiso and South Bend. A few places I'd like to see in. It's the kind of place you got to take your time to explore Indiana. Same thing with Illinois. There's quite a few places of interest in Illinois, Moline, and some other cities. Hey James, how are you? Yay, Indianapolis. There we go. Where are you headed this way? I might have to try and say hello. Yeah, the back roads. I got spooky crows. Uh, I don't know when I'm heading that way, Jamie. It's very fluid. I think that would be late summer into fall would be the time I would try to get to through. I would like to go up to I think it would be cool to go to New England, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island in the fall. I think that that would be really cool to go up there at that time, and then just kind of follow the sun back. You know, provided it's safe and there's not the son of Cornholio out there stalking the land or something like that. Uh, yeah, crows are crazy. I don't know. They eat too well around here, right? They're very big. They're very defensive. They're very frightening sometimes. I mean, I'm hanging out, so I'm sure I'll hear about it. Okay, yeah, you hang out. You'll know, Jamie. Just like I say, people know if you know I'm coming down to L.A. in that area. Malibu, Ventura County, Vandenberg, Oxnard, all down that way. Give me a holler. We'll chooch together. Or you don't necessarily have to be on camera. I mean, I met, Karen up in Toronto. I met Bella Rose in Buffalo. They didn't particularly want to be on camera. They had a hell of a time. Had great footage. Had a great time. I mean, you don't have to worry. I honor people's. There's nobody that's met more people than I have on YouTube, and I've never, you know, not respected anybody's wishes. But if we can meet, that's a wonderful, wonderful thing. I think you have blue birds, Janet. I don't think you have blue jays. Blue jays are like East Coast and up into Canada. I think they're blue birds. Yeah, crows are hardcore rock bands. They're tough birds, man. Yeah, Cheryl, speaking of woodpeckers, my friend lived up in Falston, Maryland. It's about 30 miles north of, 25 miles north of Baltimore, up 95. And his family, for some reason, every morning this woodpecker would come and peck on the outside of the boards on the side of the house, and it'd be like 5 a.m. Everybody would everybody would spring to attention. 5 a.m. trying to get brooms to smack this woodpecker. It's like God knows what he thought he was going to find on the side of the house there. Oh man, yeah, it's gonna be a fun thing. It's gonna be a fun thing. Yeah. Yeah. Blue jays are East Coast and up into Canada, not on the West Coast. Blue birds. Yeah, you get a good variety in the east and in the south. It's a little tougher terrain here. It grackles out here and grackles, crows, and yeah, woodpeckers rule. They'd be sleeping and then it's wake up time. It's like a very pissed off woodpecker. You know. We gave eagles, hawks, and a lot of doves. We used to have a lot of doves around here, and then the hawks moved in, and you'd see them circling real high, and they would just come down. I mean, it would just make Jen cry. They'd just come down and just dive bomb and just tear the hell out of a dove on the ground, and that was the end of them. Oh man, yeah, it's I don't know what the hell that word is. Melodical, no, mythical. I don't know. What's up, Alpha Wolf? That woodpecker, one of y'all awake and roaming around. I mean, it was just like it had a bone to pick with everybody. It's like if I'm up, y'all are going to be up. He said they were so conditioned after 6 weeks of this friggin' woodpecker every morning that even when the woodpecker left, they would still like get up at 5. They'd still be up at 5 a.m. for another 2 months, like just dreading to hear. He looks like one is sawed down every tree on his property. Oh my God. And chickens that rooster crows every morning. There's a lot of chickens and not as many as there used to be around here. I still tell you in this neighborhood there's more gentrification uh, occurring. There's more, less chicken keeping and human sacrifice going on around, around in the around in the area. Hello, Alpha Wolf. Gil McLovin says, "Are you joining Antifa?" I don't really ascribe to their principles, Gil. I would say I'm more of like a moderate in life. I don't believe in swinging the pendulum too far one way or the other. I like to have a convergence in the middle, and Antifa doesn't fit that. Anarchy is not the answer. Anarchy equals chaos. You like the sound grackles make? Yeah, I never really heard I never really heard a grackle sound. What kind of? I don't know. There can be pretty tough birds. People who have nothing to say use all caps. There's certain people that like to communicate with caps. It rivets my attention to their message on here. So Gil McLovin's always been pretty fun on here. So D is tomorrow is registration day at the DMV. So he says he's going to be in line at 5 a.m. Get that done. Head to Seattle to do a chooch at Camp Chaz. Would make a great video. I don't really get the concept of Chaz. It's kind of young people feeling this temporary surge of power, and then as a week goes by, the bloom is off the rose. Now you have the administrative issues of what do we do with this place now, and okay, this person wants their business to open. Okay, this person can't get to their house, and oh my God, let's just get the hell out. Let's just get the hell out of here. Yeah, I'm still alive. I'm just finishing my second beer on here, so just finishing my second beer. But as far as chooching that, I mean, Eric went in and that just looked like pretty boring to me. They feel powerful for a while and then they understand it's just a headache to occupy a piece of property. You got the headaches of administrating and running that. There have been fights between people there. What's the message here? What are we doing? A lot of the black folks that are in there, like, I can kind of tell they're kind of just, what the hell are we doing? Why do we got Chaz here, right? I mean, I can see this kind of growing the inter-Chaz strife there. That we're not even putting the message out here. Listen. There's a guy doing 70 miles an hour down the street. And there's some smart people out there that are like, what the hell's the message now? Why, So, yeah, I gotta get the sound of a grackle. How is your aim? My aim's always been pretty good. Yeah, looting is lightweight unless it happens to be your shop. And then it's the heaviest weight in the world on there. So I got a lot of sympathy for people, but I hope we don't demoralize so many police that they just go on a massive strike and that's it. Because the cities will go nuts. And the police union will say, "That's it, guys. We're gonna have a vote tonight at the meeting, calling a special meeting. You guys feel disrespected? Hell yeah! Are you tired of the BS? Hell yeah! Are you tired of people not having your back? Hell yeah! Are you tired of people micromanaging and misinterpreting things you do? Hell yeah! Well, I say we've had enough. I say we walk the hell out and let these people see what it's like without a viable police force in this town. All those in favor? All those opposed? No. That's it, man. Midnight tonight, we walk. That's it. It's coming. It'll come. How you doing, Tammy? Nice to see you. You become the leader, Chad. If I was the leader at Chaz, first thing I would do, Gil McLovin, I'd call everybody together and I would say, okay, you know, Miss Berkeleyite, what are we doing here? What's the goal? Well, it's to occupy and raise our collective voices against struggle in the front lines of society. What is our goal? Well, we're just occupying this as a protest and we're just putting the message out that the people's voices matter. Okay, we get that, but what's the end game? Um, I don't know. We just. Okay. All right, since that's the case, here's my official resignation. I'm out of here. I'm walking through the lies. Sending the National Guard to police abolish cities. Well, let me tell you, Oleg, they'll love having that duty, right? What a dirty talk about the shit end of the stick to go in on that mission, right? How you doing, Jackie Blue? Nice to see you. Everything has to have a goal to it, whether it's Chaz, whether it's demonstrations. Now we just have musical demonstrations like musical chair. Now this city, something bad happened last night. The cop shot this guy. Okay, now that's another, well, let's flame them up again. And then, we're putting a telescope on all of these cities and it's just fueling the flames. There drops a new movie, The Thin Blue Line Attacks. It. The government police state will not let the police state die. Well, we need police. We need police. If we have a policeless state, Jay Smith, I'll send you out first, okay? You test the water. I'll put you out as the test penguin on the ice. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how that works out for you when you go down that dark street and it's like. What are those guys doing down there? I don't feel comfortable walking this way. Oh, they're coming from behind me too. Yeah, we need fairness. We just need to have, there should be federal laws regarding that. I know policing is a local matter. But I think positive change can come out of this thing. But if we push police too far and degrade them too much, then it's going to be a hell of a day here. It's going to be a hell of a day. And don't think they won't walk the hell out. Good night, D. Just keep me posted about the how you make out tomorrow. Good luck tomorrow. Make sure you get up bright and early. It's gonna be a long line. Line up early, so good night, and have Jim be the president of Chaz. I don't know. I don't know what the hell to do. Right? I mean, if shit, I'd send Cheech Marin in. Yeah, man. How you doing? Let's just chill out and be cool. Yeah, let's smoke a little weed, Hey, be cool, brother. Send in Cheech and Chong. Yeah, you're heading to the Rancho. No police. No police states, no state that I want to be in. That's underestimating the downside of human nature, man. I'm sorry. That is that's a Berkeley world, right? That's a Berkeley freshman world. There's a big difference between how police and city police, and it's from training and education. Yeah, I'm drinking. I had a couple beers tonight. Mister. Well, I just look. I have no doubt in my mind that things go too far, and I do believe there's some blindness on my part because I don't live the reality of that life. Okay, I pass with that problem. I'm generally treated with respect with police and things. Their first thought on encountering is not to be suspicious of me, which puts them in a better frame of mind for the encounter. Okay, and I think if you give respect, you get respect, and that'll be tested. But there's always going to be a thug element there that has to be brought to that has to be hauled to the ground. They're arresting people in my town. They're arresting people in the town for roach, where they call it now. It's insane. Well, yeah, I mean that's ridiculous. I can't believe, yeah, that's what I admitted to that, Gregory Stevens. I admitted to that. Are you listening to me, or are you engaging in selective listening? I admitted everything you were saying, but you're not admitting the thug element of society and how are they going to self-police themselves, or are they going to see it as Christmas every day of the year out there? There has to be some authoritarian force that pushes back. How you doing, Super Serial? We got to have the middle line on that. We have to be intelligent too. We can't, give an inch, people take them all. Oh, that beer went down good, really good. I'm behind her. Do you sway me? Are you okay, Lexi? Are you alright, honey? You alright? There has to be balance, exactly. Now I just feel like the pendulum is, gonna dip too hard the other way. The next step, will be police just saying we're tired of being we're tired of being the puppets on the string here between the city and people. Either show some balls and just get this crap straightened out, or we're out of here. Good night, Amy. Good night to you. Yeah, no police, no businesses, no crime control, no theft prevention, no looting prevention. It's a terrible thing. Not too many trolls out tonight. Not too many. My moderators, I mean, I've been around too many years. Thank you, Jamie. Says I enjoy hearing your thoughts and outlooks. Can you tell I take a can you tell I take a very middle of the road, you know? I'm not invested. Well, I just want the balance between the two. Recognize bad cops when they're bad, get rid of them. Recognize thugs when they're bad, and get rid of them too. Seems like everybody's forgot about cornholio. It's, Holiday, it just simmers. It's like a pot that you cover and you put it on low. It's still, it's still out there. We're coming into summer. I'm concerned we're warm. We're still getting cases of cornholio, and look at how the hell hot Arizona is, and record-breaking hospitalizations and stuff. I mean, really? And it goes against their getting everything for 50 takes place over and actually have to do something for themselves to survive. Yeah. Well, I'm afraid that's a big part of the liberal mentality is the wanting the fruits of success without earning it, right? That sense of entitlement that I should be rich and it's only an accident that you made it big. No, I had more creative thought and ingenuity and obviously solved the problem or a need that needed taken care of, okay? Hey, 200,000 could die by October. Everyone will remember cornhole. Yeah, I don't, it'll always be, it'll always be on the stove for months, okay? It'll always be percolating on the stove for months and months and months and months here. But, look, all of a sudden, in January, we came into January 2020. Who predicted the collapse of the market collapse occurred, then hot on the heels of that. Before that was Cornholio came in at the same time. Then the damn unrest, the rioting, the protests. I mean, what the hell? It's been a lot to suck down. Adirondack internet is shoddy. Salute. Sent 10. Oh, thank you, David Moore. It's not like the flu. I don't think the heat kills. Yeah, there's something different. Well, Juice, we try hard for, cancer. I mean, we throw a lot at that. I can't say we haven't put a lot of attention to that over the years, at least compared to, it was barbaric when I was growing up. So how do you reform police? It's police union, how do you reform? I think you need to have a higher grade of person on the lines. In some ways, you need better training. You need to understand that police is force, but it can also be understanding. I think you need people with more flexibility of thought that don't always have to adhere to the letter of the law, but can look at a situation, give somebody a talk to, send them on their way, and hope for the best. Whether the gatherings and I'm not sure, Sherry. I probably won't. We're not having fireworks here. It's canceled. We're not having the county fair. We're not having summer camps here. We're not having a lot of things. Just there you go, Chef. I'll take the grape flavored. Damn, Chef. That's like it's like the final solution shit, man. I shouldn't even laugh. Yeah, draining the old gene pool. That's exactly right. One problem that I've always sensed with police, and this was brought to me in Nebraska when Dee and I got pulled over. And, okay, so I didn't give enough, I didn't know you pull over and save the lane next to an emergency vehicle or whatever. So, but the guy got my license and he looked at my license and he got, he started, you could tell his demeanor got real mean, and I felt very uncomfortable. Okay. I started to feel disrespected with his questioning and his behavior. And what started out as pleasant at first and likely to get a warning turned into like, I can't wait to get my ticket booked fast enough to ticket you. Kind of weird. But let's face it, just like there's some people in the Army and the Marines that are like gung-ho and they try to weed those people out, I think to some extent, that, man, I just want to kill, so yeah, I'm a killing machine, and you get some cops in there that see themselves in the mold of Billy Badass, and they've got that ultimate street authority that they can literally take somebody's life and possibly get away with it in a situation that was not, wasn't the way that they spin it later. So no parade, no nothing. We're not having Jack. We're not having Jack here. Yeah, well, that's what happened, Giro, and I felt so bad about that encounter that I went and filed a complaint at the state trooper office in the district office in Kearney, Nebraska. And he did follow up with me, blah, blah, blah. This officer's been transferred out, this officer's on other duty or something, something like that. Now, I mean, it's not often. I mean, I've, when you're being mistreated. And yeah, I didn't follow respect, but, being from California just put a big target on my back right off the bat. Having the white van and then having gone through the van and pulling all the crap out and searching it. The original rapid reopen. This is they said Jack, it's still first wave. Yeah, cops have discretion. That's right, Bill Alley. So I didn't whine about it. I went through proper channels. I filed the report so there would at least be something there to review. I didn't pitch a bitch. I didn't go crazy at the scene and have him draw his service weapon out. Hey, And I think notice you can tell he's pulling by how they act. The police, the state police tonight. Training. It is training and education. We may need to. I mean, I hate to say that we might be at this point in society where we need a new level of education for to be in law enforcement. Right? We better provide the commensurate pay to have professionals, people. I don't know, more extensive training. I don't have the solution. I really don't have it. Yeah, and I would never fight a cop. Hey, bully! Bully's sending nasty text messages. Oh, I hear you, Super Serial. But you better believe I'm always pretty darn respectful whenever I've encountered police and things. We really can, yeah, we can, Janet. You didn't grow up in a community like I did. It was predominantly black, and I have a very good sense of what they go through because I went through it myself. Handle complaints, yeah, you do it professionally, you get more attention. You can stand out there and rave. You can tell this trooper, this ain't right, man. I mean, I'm just passing through. You should give me a break, right? I tried to do the best I could at the last minute to get out of the way. Oh, you're being a dick. Okay. And start cursing. No, the right way to do it is you just go through the proper channels and you follow the things, and they get much more attention. And you get a real response from a higher level. So... And I wouldn't want to make any trouble, but, I didn't have a good encounter. So, can't wait for water cooler talk. You still going to an office, bully? You're one of the few people still going to an office, right? Lab engineering, it will be constant till people have antibodies, yeah. I would definitely take issue with Janet about that because, quite a number of white people can have perfect understanding of that situation. When you're called poor white trash growing up and all that, Native American, and I would get harassed off when I was young, but you handle things, yeah, that's right, Jamie, you hope for a better world. You hope for a better world. Never hold court on the street, right, big boy? You're going to lose. There's no possible way on God's green earth that you're going to win a court case on the street. I have to put Bully in the... Bully's a good pal of mine. If you guys haven't thumbs up tonight, I'm giving you the 5-minute warning or so. I'm going to close out for the evening. It's been a long day in that workshop. I got a big long day tomorrow. Back on the landscaping, I got a lot of bushes to cut, a lot more weeds to pull, and things like that. But it was really awesome to have you guys in the chat tonight. And I say to myself, what a wonderful world. The color of the rainbow, so pretty. David Moore said, this world is close to tipping as I was trained for history is written by the bold. I would agree. We're at a very dangerous tipping point here. But I don't choose to elaborate my darkest concerns on YouTube because I do try to put out low-level things about prepping and just telling people, hey, it makes sense to be a prepper. We've already seen, you don't know what can come down the pike, and it's nice to have 6 months to be able to sustain yourself and not have to go out into shitville. But what I will not do is, voice out some horror story of my worst case scenario of the future because it can't benefit anybody. Thank you, Sherry. Baking tonight. No, I was baking in a shop today. Does that count, pig boy? Baking my ass off working today. Is that it? Yeah, thank you, Dusty. So I will bid you guys all a good night, Jamie and Dusty and Bully. Good to see you in here, Bully. What an honor to have you in here tonight. And Nocturnal, and you guys don't know, IRC Bully came up, gave me the worst scare I ever had on YouTube in Milwaukee. Pulled off into a bad area, evidently. And here comes a guy with a bandana on him. Walked right up, puts his arms on my side window. Hey, how you doing? You don't think this was pre-cornholio. You don't see people with bandanas. And I could tell he was packing the heater, and I was just waiting for him to say, lady, pull over. We're going to take a drive tonight. But I never met him before. I didn't know who in the hell he was. But I'll tell you what, Rosie proved her ice cold chill that night. I didn't miss a beat. Bully will tell you, calm, cool, and collected. Just thinking in my brain, how am I going to get rid of this guy now? And then dispose of the body. So thank you all for being on tonight. I appreciate it. On your way out, if you could thumbs up, that would be awesome. And good night, Jackie, Blue, and everybody else. Scottish, thank you to my wonderful, you were ahead of your time, Bully. My wonderful moderators for their outstanding jobs. Cheryl, Jen, Scottish, Bully, everybody else. And Mouse Toes, thank you so much, guys. Stay safe, stay cool, and be like Rosie. Stay chill. All right. Well, your mom was right. She didn't tell you you're an a-hole too. All right, guys. Thank you.